What's up, everybody? It's me, San Martin, and I am on a roll this morning because we have so much going on this weekend, and we want you all to find out more about it. But first, we got to get this party started, and it goes a little bit like, hold on, like this. Going in on the whole screen. How you doing, my friend? How you doing, my friend? Hey,
Good.
guys, we have a lot of things going on, but first, let me go ahead and just throw this little video on so you guys can see what's happening. I don't know what's going on with that voice, but he sounds a little creepy.
Did you have AI make that for you?
I sure did. It is what it is. Don't be mad at me, man. But I tell you what, we have a very, very special guest with us right now. Tell everybody who you are and what makes you famous.
Me?
Yes,
I don't
you.
know anything makes me famous, but I'll tell you who I am. So, Tab Pierce, I am, among other things, the co-CEO of Network Live, which is what we're really here to talk about, which is the Accelerate Business Growth Summit, the Summit City Series coming to Prescott. Man, that's a mouthful. On September 3rd, with a mixer on the night before, the 2nd, and it's gonna be pretty amazing. We've got some fantastic speakers. I hope we get a chance to talk about them here, but that's me, man. I mean, and I do other stuff too. Lots of other stuff.
I really, really love your bio. You are the reverse millionaire.
The negative millionaire. I'm not anymore. Thankfully, I'm not anymore. And it's funny how I got that because you know, I won't go into the whole thing, but part of my story is that my company and personally were $1 million in debt, and this is, you know, years ago, which kind of led us to where we're at now and what we're doing. But it's not. Thankfully, I'm like well on the other side of that. But there was a guy that kept calling me the negative millionaire, and I just didn't click. And finally I said to him one time, I'm like, now, why do you keep calling me the negative millionaire? I think I'm a positive guy. And then he goes, because you were $1 million in debt. And so I just, like, the light bulb went off, and that's kind of a catchy tagline. So I kind of stuck with it.
That is so funny.
Thankfully, it's no longer true. It's not even close, but
yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, I mean, just a little bit of backlog for everybody out there. I made a decision to go ahead and kind of get out of Prescott and start doing a little bit of business interaction outside of the Prescott limits and the area. And Jemray down in Scottsdale, a really, really big promoter that I've known since 2008, 2009, when social media became like a really big deal. Had this post come up, and he was talking about the summit, and I'm trying to get the name. It was an Accelerator Business Summit down in Scottsdale, and I ended up messaging Tab, and I was like, well, I messaged your website, and I was like, hey, I want to be involved. And you know, we had a little bit of banter really early in the morning, which is really hilarious. We'll probably get into that. But the idea was when I got there, I wanted to go ahead and know a little bit about, you know, how other businesses are working, how other the community in Scottsdale, Phoenix area are working. And it really, really lit a fire underneath my butt. And the reason why I needed that is because sometimes you get complacent, and that's what happens in Prescott, Arizona. We as business owners get complacent. And the whole reason for this summit to be here locally in Prescott is to go ahead and get us out of that whole, like, the normal. Not saying that we have to go crazy like other big towns and cities, but enough to go ahead and really, really keep our businesses in the forefront of the community and also in the area. So this is a business summit for people that need a little bit of push and also to be guided by people that have been there. And one of the people that are going to be there, which is a really big name, especially in the Major League Baseball arena, is Shay. And Shay, when he got up on stage, I thought he was going to talk about his accomplishments as far as being a young individual that wants to go ahead and play baseball and then get to the Major League Baseball league. And it was kind of funny because right in the middle of his spiel, it was like, turn that off, turn it off. It's not about that. Can you tell me a little bit about how you met him and how that all came about?
Yeah. So I one of the things I'm really good at is getting an audience with pretty much anybody. And I mean that's how we ended up with one of our speakers being Naveen Jain, who's a multi-billionaire at the summit, and Michael Burnoff or Coach Burt, all these people, because I just humbly, I'm really good at getting an audience with pretty much anybody. And so my wife and I were living in Seattle at the time, and man, if you know Seattle, you know Washington, and the winter, fall and winter, it's different shades of dark, and it's wet and it's rainy, it's gross. And so we decided to come to Arizona, and I had another company, and one of the things that we did is these fireside chats. It was actually Naveen Jain that got us into these fireside chats. And I said, what'd be cool is let's get a couple of Major League Baseball players and talk about we'll talk about peak performance and what it's like to perform at the highest level. And so I got in hold of Shay, and I said, hey, we're doing this fireside chat. We're going to do it. Told him the day. And I said, I'm talking to another guy, Darnell McDonald. And, so hit me up. Let me know what you think. Get a hold of Darnell. Hey, Shay and I are having a conversation. I'm just having a conversation by myself, right? And so Darnell comes back immediately. He's like, yeah, man, I'm in. I'm in. So I go back to Shay, who hasn't responded. And I'm like, hey, man, Darnell's in. We're doing it. We're set on this. I'm heading over and talking to this guy right now. I'm going to give you like 15 minutes to get back to me. But dude, I got to get going on this like ASAP. And like within 5 minutes, no, dude, I'm in. And I was like, I looked at my wife and I'm like, wow, within 30 minutes, I went from an idea to having the 2-person panel, and that's how I met Shay. And what's cool is that Shay and I, over the last 3 years, have become really, really close friends. And the guy is just phenomenal. And it's not about baseball; it's about just the experience that somebody would have. And because you would think, man, if you're at that level, you're just gonna love life. And he talks about that's just not true.
Well, this is one of the cool things, and I remember having the time the night before because we do a VIP mixer, which all businesses are welcome to go ahead and be there. Obviously, you need a ticket in order for you to be at the actual show itself. But I actually asked Shay, I was like, "How did you become a speaker?" And he goes, "You just do it." And it was so crazy because the next thing I said to you was like, "Hey, I want to be a speaker." So it's an actual really honor to go ahead and be on the stage with these two major influencers that are on the stage, and I would like for you to also talk about Chris. When I say another influencer, Chris is another one that I would love for you to talk about and how you actually met him.
Dude, I thought you were talking about me as the second one. Dang, man, I
But,
was
hey,
kind of, I was feeling all
you're the
puffy.
infamous one. You're going to be the infamous one. I haven't got there yet,
I
man.
was feeling all puffy and built up and stuff, and then I found out you're not talking about me. Okay, just in all seriousness, Chris Carlisle. So it's kind of a funny story. Somebody got a hold of me and said, "Hey, Pete Carroll, who is the Seahawks head coach at the time, he's not just recently no longer the head coach, but Pete Carroll is looking at making a transition into being a speaker, and he'd love to meet with you and see if you could, um, you know, yeah, maybe you guys could work together." Being from Seattle, I'm this huge Seahawk fan. I'm like, dang, Pete Carroll is contacting me to come out and meet with him. Well, then it comes to find out that there was lost in translation, and it was Chris Carlisle, who was Pete Carroll's strength and conditioning coach, head strength and conditioning coach at USC, and for the Seahawks. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll meet with the guy. I don't know who he is, but sure, I'll do it. And man, I honestly, I'm not saying I wouldn't want to meet Chris or Pete Carroll, but Chris is insane. I mean, the guy he's a big, massive man, but he is a gentle heart. He's won 16 championships at all levels. Only person to win uh, a a championship at every level of high school, every level of college, the Super Bowl, and he wrote a book called Move or Die, which is just phenomenal. So I mean, you can flip a coin which one of those guys is the second best speaker at the event.
Well, this is a great opportunity, and it's all happening right here in Prescott, Arizona. And I'm so excited about it that I'm just like, it is what it is. It's going to happen. It's going to go down this Saturday. It starts at 9:30 in the morning, right?
Nine, nine.
9 in the morning.
Yeah, but yeah,
9 in the morning,
you
and
can show up in your PJs, man. That's cool. But we're gonna be the doors open at 8. So for registration, kind of some early morning mingling, and then we kickstart 9 o'clock. And
all right,
and
and then
then
it
we
goes on to about 4:30 ish,
yeah, and
4:30.
yep, yep. And we got some. Those are two speakers that are sports focused, but that's not the focus of this. This is really about getting yourself right and directional for business. And coming into this year, especially when there's so much talk about a recession, man, this is timely information for everybody.
Very much so. And I'm going to go ahead and pop on the screen all the great speakers right here. And as you guys can see, we also got our local superstars, Anita, and also Chris, or Eric. And you have your beautiful wife going to be on board. And so she's going to be bringing some knowledge to the table, and also Christopher Reeves. And I've been watching
And
a
you,
lot.
you're
Oh yeah,
speaking.
yeah. I'm always speaking. It'd be like, is he going to shut up? No, I am not. But we also have Chris Reeves. I've been watching a lot of his motivation. He seems like a very awesome business coach, and a coach that we would love to go ahead and have a time and a place for him. And we got that going on Saturdays. So if you guys want to register, please register. Go to our page, look up the Summit City Series, and I just put it into the comments. The link to the page itself. So if you guys want to be a part of it, be a part of it and come join us. This is something that you do not want to miss, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be awesome, and it's my first time actually having a stage. It's a big deal. So, if you got any last minute words?
Hey, the only thing I would say to the people that are maybe on the fence, you don't have to get information that's valuable from every single speaker. You need one speaker to give you a nugget that's going to make a difference in your life. And I get that every single time. And as an example, I sit down with I had an impromptu meeting with Eric when we were there in uh, uh, at the end at the end of December, just at the Founding Fathers. And he and I and with Catherine, we spoke just a little bit about AI, and that little bit of discussion sparked just of like an inferno inside of my wife and me about like what AI can bring. All you need is to have an experience like that, one nugget that's going to come from this event, and it's going to be worthwhile. And I can pretty much guarantee you're going to get a minimum of one, probably a bushel full.
Well, that's exactly why a lot of things are changing in my world, is because new technology, new tools are becoming a very, very big deal.
Yep.
So, Tab, I got a question for you.
Yep. Yep.
On this business series, this event you guys are doing, what business is it best for, or is it general for anybody who's a business owner? Is it what? Can you go into that a little bit?
I you know that that's a good question. I would say it's probably anybody that's really focused on growth. It's probably good for uh, anybody that is a small business owner. So you know whatever that means to you, two people up to 200. But it's also good for the individual that's really either a solopreneur or a business person but not a business owner, so a professional. It's really about people that want to be able to see what the landscape is out there, and then do what they need to do in order to to really take the tools that they have, or the next step, and really start to kind of elevate. And that's who it's for. So any if I always get people that'll say things like, I don't need more training. Man, this isn't training. This is coming together to get knowledge and to put it to use.
And,
Awesome.
and I'm telling you what, I mean, it could do a lot of wonders for you, and it did wonders for me, and hence this is the reason why it's happening in Prescott, Arizona.
Yeah.
So, guys, we got a lot of things to go ahead and prepare for the rest of the day, and I know, Tab, you got to go and start counting your millions of dollars and and express everything that we got going on for this weekend to more of your channels. So, with that being said, I'm out of here, man. I got things to do. You got things to do, and I'm out. See you guys later.
Thank you.